Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello, my dear friends and students. Welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, in the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, in the video lecture series of the subject called Management Accounting in the course of BBA, Block 4, Unit number 4, Management Audit. Before we start our session, let us examine what are that learning objectives of this particular unit called management audits. So let's examine the learning objectives. The first basic learning objective is that you have to define the objectives of management audit. Then difference between the financial and management audit. Then need for management audit, and then the conducting the management audit. Let us begin our journey with the introduction point of management audit. The management audit is the new concept in the sphere of the audit. The word audit takes its original Latin word that audire, which means to hear. The person who conduct the audit is known as auditor. In olden days, the original object of the audit was principally to see whether the accountant had properly accounted for the receipt and the payment of cash. In those days, audit was simply a comparison of records. It is auditor are generally expected to detect the error and the fraud, or we can say the omissions in the books of the accounts. In the context of financial accounting, the term auditing means examination of books of accounts to ensure that the financial statements are prepared in accordance with the statutory requirements and that they reflect a true and a fair view of the affairs of that concern. Then the cost audit, which is concerned with the audit of cost accounts, is a part of a work of the internal auditor. The principle underlying cost audit differs from the financial audit, not only in the scope but objective also. The term cost audit, according to the ICWAI India, it is an audit of efficiency of minute detail of the expenditure while the work is in a progress and not a post-mortem examination. The financial audit is a faith, a comply. The cost audit is mainly a preventive measure, a guide for the management policy and decision, and in addition to being a barometer of the performance, and the difference of two is clear from that definition. The management audit is an expansion of internal audit and which is now called management audit. It is the latest development of internal audit. Through this concept is still in its infancy and yet it has caught worldwide attention of the accountants, management and auditors. The management audit is concerned with the management process as a whole. It covers review and appraisal of managerial policy and the plan in comparison to predetermined standard. So here, my dear friends, we can say that the management audit is ultimately the expansion of the internal audit. Now let's move to the definition point. As its name signifies, the management audit means the audit of management process and functions. It is an independent appraisal activity for the review of a control of managerial functions, so as to ensure compliances with the organizational objectives, policies, and the procedure and the management methods and purposes. The different scholars define management audit in a different way. Let us examine the Wills P. Leon definition of management audit. He defined that management audit as a comprehensive and constructive examination of an organizational structure of a company, institution, or a branch of government, or any component, or we can say any component thereof, such as a division, department, and its plan and objective. It means of operations and its use of human and physical facility. The Laszlo R. Howard has given a comprehensive definition of management audit, and according to him that the management audit is an investigation of business from the highest level to downward in order to ascertain whether the sound management prevails throughout, and thus facilitating the most effective relationship with the outside the world and the most efficient organization and the smooth running of internal organization. According to the Bhandari's definition, the management audit is a comprehensive examination of organizational system which comprises a review of a final and the result and an intensive examination of objective, programs, policy, procedure, organizational structure, decisions, and internal controls. Then the Taylor and Perry have given another definition, and according to them, management auditing is a method to evaluate the efficiency of management at all levels throughout the organization, or more specifically, it comprises the investigation of a business by an independent body from the highest executive level to downward. And in order to ascertain whether the sound management prevails throughout and to report as to its efficiency or otherwise with the recommendation to ensure its effectiveness where such is not case. So my dear friends, there are several definitions given by the several authors. Now let's move to the objective of management audit. The very first basic objective of the management audit is that the management audit aims to, or we can say aimed at achieving the efficiency of management. It suggests the way and the means of increasing the managerial efficiency. Then it examines the organizational structure. If there are deficiencies, then changes in organizational, and we can say change in organization are suggested. Then it studies the relationship of the concern with the outside the world and the economic environment. Then it is the aim, or we can say it is the main objective of management audit to see whether the business is managed efficiently or not. Then it helps the management at all level in the efficient discharge of a duty are responsible, or we can say the responsibility. Then it evaluate the performance of various management processes and the functions also. So my dear friends, these are the objectives of management audit. Now let us examine the difference between the financial audit and management audit. While we're discussing these 2 points, or we differentiate these points, that is management audit and financial audit, you have to understand what is management audit and what is financial audit. And for that, my dear friends, you earlier studied the financial accounts and management account also. So let us differentiate the financial audit and management audit. It is concerned with the certification of the true and fair character, or we can say the true and fair view of financial accountant. While management audit is not intended data, but it concerned with an appraisal of means and result. So ultimately, my dear friend, the financial audit is mainly concerned with your financial data, and it's a true and fair view. Second point is, it is simply a post-mortem examination, while it is preventive as well as the curative checkup. So financial audit is ultimately the post-mortem of examination each and everything, while the management audit is preventive as well as the curative checkup, because it's the internal part. Then financial audit requires accounting expertise, while management audit requires interdisciplinary expertise. Then the financial account is mainly based on the internal financial data, while management audit is based on the financial and non-financial data obtained from the internal as well as external. Next is, the financial audit is a statutory in case of the joint stock company, while management audit is a still voluntary, that is not mandatory at all. Then scope of audit is determined by the law, while the management audit is based on the mutual agreement. Then financial audit is well developed and professionally controlled activity, while management audit is an infancy stage. Then financial auditing in that the motivation for the audit comes from the tradition and the law, while management audit depends upon the consequences of the management. Then financial audit is useful for the shareholders and other management, and we can say the others also, including the management, while the management audit is mainly useful for the management itself. So my dear friend, these are the differentiation, or we can say the difference of financial audit and management audit. Next point is, my dear friend, that is needs for management audit. The financial audit is concerned with the certification of true and fair view, or we can say the true and fair character of the financial accounts. It is not concerned with evaluation of either means or result, while management audit is evaluation, concerned with that evaluation of means and result. And the financial auditor does not report whether the policies laid down by the concern are carried out properly or not. It looks only at the history of the financial transactions. It is concerned with the financial aspects of the organization. It does not suggest the way and the means of estimation, or we can say the eliminate wastage or reduces the cost of production. And the management of the business at present is becoming a more and more complex. The directors are not expert in every field of management. Management audit is a kind of internal audit which reveals the defect in the working of the organization and suggests the improvements to obtain the best result of operation of a concern. And it comprehensive examination and an appraisal of all functions of manager, or we can say the management auditor. Next point is, my dear friend, that is uses of management audit. The management audit makes substantial contribution to the system of goal setting in the organization. Second use is, it is a kind of internal audit which reveals the defects in working of the concern and suggests the improvements to obtain the best results. Then it helps in the improvement of management information system to expedite the flow of information among the responsibility centers. Then it guides the management in pinpointing key function or operations in profit making process. Then it helps in establishing, reviewing and improving the planning system. Then it facilitates the management in getting the adequate information to correct for taking the correct discussion, or we can say the decision. Then it sees whether the management is properly using the information that is getting. Then it enables the appraisals of performance of various managers. Then it assists all the members of management to overcome the delay, wasteful expenditure, then recurring losses, gaps between the budgeted and actual achievements, etc. So ultimately, my dear friends, these are the uses of management audit, which are expandedly more accurate and most important in a nature. Let us move to the another discussion, that is conducting the management audit. The management audit is a preliminary, or we can say the primarily, the concern with the evaluation of management function and organizational functions, keeping in a view the overall organizational objectives. The management audit requires the review of all the aspects of the management. One man cannot be expert in every field of management, and therefore there should be a team of conduct the management audit, and it will be good if the team of the management auditor consists of the accountant, operational research specialist, industrial engineer, social scientist, etc. And all the members must have ability to think like a manager. So your management audit going in an easy manner. Let's move to the another. Now the question is, sir, if we are conducting the management audit, then what are the procedure to be followed while conducting that management audit? So my dear friend, these are the procedure while conducting an management audit. First is the management audit term must have a clearly defined authority from the management of the enterprise. Then the management auditor requires an information for the appraisal of various managerial aspects. And for this purpose, the management auditor can make use of standard questionnaire which may be specially designed for that particular management audit. Third step of procedure is the management auditor carefully examine the information collected by him. Whenever the information is received from any sources, the person supplying it must put their signature to authenticate it. So while you are supplying some document to the management auditor, at that point of time your signature must be enhanced in that paper, and on that paper which signifies the authentication of supplying that material or that information. Next is the management auditor the management auditor who are the mainly the consistently observe will become aware of many problems that are not recorded or are incapable of analyze through the data. And the management auditor should also evaluate the internal audit report, inspection reports, etc. to form his own opinion in that. Next point is, in the process of conducting a review of various activities of the concerned management auditor can adopt and use the number of techniques of verifactory audit, such as inquiry, examination, confirmation, observation of the different activities and conditions, etc. Next point is that the auditor is concerned with the appraisal of performance in the various area of management, such as planning, organization, control, coordination, system, procedure, inventory management, production, sales management, distribution management, research and development, etc. In the last, the management auditor has to prepare a report which should be concise and free from the ambiguity, and he can criticize the management also. The management auditor has to compare the actual performance with the standards laid down of performance in the various years. And on the basis of above analysis, the evaluation and the useful course of action is to be suggested by the management auditor. So this is what, my dear friend, how to conduct the management audit in a nature, which is most important while you're defining the audit. So while we discussed this topic, management audit, in your mind, sir, why we studied this topic? Just because of that, my dear friends, in the head, in subject of management accounting, you learn all the aspects of management account, all the tools and techniques of management account. budget, budgetary control, cash budget, etc., flexible budget, all these terms are concluded there. But after that, after defining that account in an appropriate manner, you have to evaluate in an audit form also. And for that, my dear friends, you have to study this particular topic called management audit, which is an integral part of the audit. So ultimately, it is very useful in nature while you studied this. So, and after the differentiate that financial audit and management audit, you understand that what the financial aspects are important in financial audit and what are that management aspects are important in management audit. And accordingly, you justify both in an appropriate manner. That's why we study it. After evaluating or after watching this particular video, you have to evaluate yourself in three aspects. First is write a long question, second is write a short question, and third solve the multiple choice question. After evaluating these three, the fourth one is referring a different material or the reference book. So ultimately these four aspects are important for your study. So let us examine the first aspects of evaluation yourself. That is a long question. First is how the management audit conduct. That means you have to lay down all the procedure of the management audit. Then differentiate the financial audit and management audit. In the short question, define any two objectives of the management audit and define the needs for management audit. And the third aspect is multiple choice questions. First question is that the management audit is an expansion of what? Internal audit, external audit, depth audit, none of the above. So it's, my dear friend, answer is internal audit. Second multiple choice question is which following basic objectives are not contained in the definition. That means you have to evaluate each definition in appropriate manner. The management audit's aim is not the efficiency of the manager. This is the basic objectives are not contained in definitions. Then it suggests the way and the means, yes, of the increasing the managerial efficiency, absolutely right. Then it helps the management at all the level of efficient discharge of duties and responsibility, yes, that's objective also. Then it evaluates the performance of various management processes and function, absolutely right. According to definition, these objectives are defined, but the first one, that is management audit aim, is not the efficiency of management. No, this is not an objective as contained in the definition. So answer is A. Option number A is a correct answer. After the third aspect, you have to refer or you want to refer more or for the further reading, then you may refer this book, that is Management Accounting by the S. Chand book. After evaluating this, my dear friend, these four aspects, you learn well the management account and especially the management audit. So hope you learn well in this subject. Hope you enjoy this video. Have a great day. Thank you very much, my dear friends.